Okay, so these are your 5.9 notes. We're going to be graphing and translating trig function, sine, cosine, and tangent. So you'll notice the A and B are still there from yesterday, the amplitude and how to get your period. But now I have this H and this K added. So H represents what we call a phase shift or a horizontal shift, and K represents a vertical shift, which you should remember from earlier in the year. All right, now we're still going to go about do everything we did. Our amplitude here is 3/2. It's my coefficient out front. My period, 2 pi divided by b. b is 1, so my period is 2 pi. I will then find my quad. That's 2 pi divided by 4. So in this case, pi over 2. My phase shift. I don't have anything added or subtracted in with x, so I have no phase shift. And my vertical shift is up 3. Okay, so what I will do sometimes is I will go ahead and make a new, what I call baseline. It's kind of where my new zero is when I do my cheats. So this is sine. So it's 0, max, 0, min, 0. Since there's no phase shift, you're going to start where you started before. So that's at 0. I'm going to go up by pi over 2 because that's my quad. Like so. So 0, 0. I would have put it here, but I have that new baseline. So that is now my 0, 0. At pi over 2, I go up 1.5 because that's my maximum. At pi, I come back down to my new baseline. At 3 pi over 2, I'm going down 1.5, and I come back up to 0. Nice little sine function. Okay, tangents next. Again, find that amplitude. Amplitude is 1, so that coefficient. Period is pi over b, so it's just pi because my coefficient is 1. This thing, I have something added in with x. It's positive, so that means I'm going to go left, pi over 2, and I have no vertical shift. Now, with tangent, we have to find out where that new graph starts. So what you're going to do is you're going to set whatever's in there equal to where we usually start at, which we usually start at negative pi over 2. I'm going to subtract pi over 2 from both sides. So that means I'm going to start at negative pi. X, y, undefined, negative a, 0, a, undefined. I'm going to start at negative pi. One thing I forgot to find that quad, period, divided by 4. So I add my quad each time to get to my new x value. So at negative pi over 4, or at negative pi, I'm undefined. And at 0, I am undefined. At negative 3 pi over 4, I go down my amplitude, negative a, come back up to my 0, and go up your a. Little shifted tangent graph. Little shifted tangent graph. All right, this next one. Amplitude is 4. Period. 2 pi divided by 2/3 is the same as 6 pi over 2, which is 3 pi, which makes my quad go to 3 pi over 4. And I'm going to shift my y-axis all the way over there so I make it easier. Phase shift, negative pi, which means I'm going to go right pi, vertical shift, up 1. So I'm going to move that baseline. Okay. Every 4 is a pi. Right? So I'm going to do my little cheat. So max, 0, min, 0, max. Now, for a cosine function, we usually start it at 0, but I have a phase shift of right pi, so that means I'm going to shift it right pi units. I'm going to add 3 pi over 4, so this becomes 7 pi over 4, 10 pi over 4, which is 5 pi over 2, 13 pi over 4, and 16 pi over 4, which is 4 pi. So at 0, I go my maximum, so that means I need to go up 4 from my new baseline because I shifted up 1. And then I'm going to go over 3 pi over 4. So 1, 2, 3. So at 7 pi over 4, I'm at my baseline. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go to my middle. A nice stretched out cosine curve. All right, here's another lovely tangent one. My amplitude, my coefficient is 1. My period is pi over 2 because I have to divide my period by b, which means my quads are pi over 8. Phase shift, it says I should go left pi over 4, and a vertical shift is down 3. So I'll immediately move my vertical shift down 3, my new baseline. Oops, sorry. Now I got to find where I start. So I'm going to do 2 times the quantity x plus pi over 4 equals negative pi over 2. Divide everything by 2. And subtract pi over 4. So you're actually starting in the exact same spot that you were before. Not always going to happen, but sometimes. So undefined, negative a, 0, a, undefined. So I'm going to start at negative pi over 2. But this time I'm adding pi over 8. So this is negative 4 pi over 8. So negative 3 pi over 8. Negative 2 pi over 8, which is negative 4 pi over 4. Negative pi over 8, and ends at 0. So there's negative pi over 2, and these, cut those in half, that becomes pi over 8. So negative 3 pi over 8, so means I'm going to go down 1, back to my baseline, and then up 1, and there's my asymptote. Nice little tangent function. Couple more to do. Now this one, my amplitude is 3. And that 4 is in there, so you need to factor out that 4. So 3 times the sine of 4. Remember, when you're factoring, you're dividing. So x minus pi over 2 minus 2. So my period is 2 pi over 4, which is pi over 2, which makes my quads pi over 8. Just going to scrunch it in. Phase shift. Well, right, pi over 2. That's negative pi over 2. Vertical shift is down 2. Vertical shift is down 2. Okay, so sine 0, max, 0, min, 0. Phase shift means I go pi over 2. I'm adding my quad. So this would be 4 pi over 8. So 5 pi over 8, 6 pi over 8, which is 3 pi over 4, 7 pi over 8, and ends at 8 pi over 8, which is pi. All right, so pi over 2. I'm at my 0, my new 0, because I shifted down. At 5 pi over 8, just here. I have my maximum, so I'm going to go up 3. 1, 2, 3. At 3 pi over 4, I'm back at my new 0. Go down 3. And then come back at my 0. A nice little squished sine curve. All right, cosine. Again, I got to factor something out. I'm going to get my amplitude first, which is 1. So this is the cosine of 2 times x plus 3 pi over 4 plus 4. Because remember, got to divide by 2. So my period is going to be pi. My quad is going to be pi over 4. Phase shift is left 3 pi over 4. And vertical shift, I'm going to go up 4. Okay? So I'm going to cosine. So this is max, 0, min, 0, max. I'm going to start at negative 3 pi over 4. I'm going to go by pi over 4s. So negative pi over 2, negative pi over 4, 0, and I'm going to end at pi over 4. So negative 3 pi over 4 is my maximum, so I need to go up 1. At negative pi over 2, I'm back at my 0, which is my new 0, my shifted. Go down 1 for my minimum, come back up to 0, and go back up 1. So you're using your amplitude. All right, last one is this tangent. The amplitude is 2. My period is going to be pi divided by 1/2, so that's 2 pi. So it means my quads are pi over 2. And again, I got to factor that 1/2 out. So factoring the 1/2 out is like multiplying by 2. So be careful. And it says I should go left pi and up 1. Okay. So undefined, negative a, 0, a, undefined. All right, but I need to figure out where I'm going to go. So 1/2 x plus pi equals negative pi over 2. So I'm going to multiply by 2 on both sides. And I'm going to subtract pi. So it means I'm going to start at negative 2 pi. I'm going to go up by pi's over 2. So negative 3 pi over 2, negative pi over 2, and 0. So negative 2 pi, I am vertical asymptote. 0, I'm at a vertical asymptote. So negative 3 pi over 2, I go down from my new baseline, remember. Down your amplitude, baseline, up your amplitude.